Welcome or welcome back to the 8th concession. My name is Natalie. It's an exciting day today because even though it's well into July, I can do my very first harvest today. This is late for us, even here, Southern Ontario, Zone 5B. To be coming up to like the third week in July and not have harvested almost anything is really unusual. But this has not been a typical summer for us. It has been cool, it has been wet, and everything is delayed. I was a bit late planting some things, but even still, they're just not thriving. The warm crops, the heat-loving crops are just slow. The tomatoes are slow, the cucumbers are slow. But finally today, there is something I can harvest, and that is my garlic. And I think I'm also going to harvest my potatoes. They both seem to be done, and I'm excited to get some produce coming into the house, but I'm doubly excited because my garlic is a little bit of an experiment this year. I've had some garlic growing in my garden for years, but it was really, really small. It had very small bulbs, and I don't recall where I got it in the first place. I don't recall buying it as like a seed garlic and planting it. I brought it from the other house and planted it here, and the thing is I keep harvesting it and missing some, and so they grow again on their own the following year. I haven't planted garlic in years. But last fall I did plant garlic, and I wanted to see if I could get bigger bulbs, because although the garlic is tasty and, you know, basically perennial, it was really, really small, and that's such a pain when you're making a dish and you have to peel a lot of garlic cloves. So I bought some organic cloves just in the store, planted them in the fall, and thought, oh well, you know, if they grow, they grow, and if they don't, well, I'll try something else next year. But they did grow, and I'm so excited today to see how well they did. Did I get really good garlic out of it? Was it a fail? Can you actually grow good garlic from just organic garlic in the store and not seed garlic? Let's have a look. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to harvest some of the small garlic. This is the garlic that I brought from the other house. I don't know where it came from, and it's typically very small when I pull it. Now, I do remember that I did separate a few cloves out and plant them individually to see if that would make them bigger. So we'll see how they turned out as well. So right here, you can see some of the garlic that's planted itself, or that I didn't harvest last year and just grew again because I lost it. I didn't see it when it all dried up. And so it's just come again in this garden each year. You can see I've got some spare tomato plants here. I have some oregano growing there. There are a few odds and ends over here. It's a little bit weedy and it is very buggy, so I'm going to make this quick. Over here by the echinacea, the purple coneflower, which is blooming for the first time. I grew these from seed. I'm very excited to see them. These are the ones that I separated behind my spare tomatoes here. So let's see if they're any bigger. These right here, you can see they're somewhat larger. Well, the plant's larger. Is the bulb larger? Wow, that's really quite a difference. From the ones that I separated, I got a decent sized bulb there. Now, it's not that I deliberately didn't separate these other ones. They just grew on their own. And you can see, look this back, with the number of small ones there, even when I harvest, I've probably left some behind again. The really small ones. And they just grew. Now, they're small, but I didn't do any work to plant them or to grow them. So they're kind of like free garlic. But certainly a pain. You can see all the small ones on here. a pain to peel and use in cooking. But they do have the capability to grow to decent sized garlic. Now let's see how the store-bought garlic did. Here we are in bed number 1, and the garlic is growing all along the edge here. So let's pull it up and see what we get. Have to be careful not to dig up my dill. Oh, I've got some. There's one right here. Oh, not bad. Now that is a bulb of garlic. Look at that. That's amazing. Look at the size of it. Look at the size of these garlic bulbs. I have never ever grown garlic this large before. And just for comparison, here is the basket. Now the one large one we got from over there, it's about the same size, I'd say. But the rest of these don't even compare. So the answer to my question is yes, you can absolutely plant store garlic and get a good, if not even an amazing harvest. Now, people buy seed garlic so that they don't introduce disease into their garden, and that's a valid point. You have to be really careful buying garlic from other sources when it's not been sort of checked and certified. However, this was organic garlic. It is local garlic, not something shipped in from overseas, so I think that's important too. And I was confident that they were healthy and looked good and wanted to take the chance. So that's the only drawback to buying some garlic in the store and planting it. But really, the payoff was great. I am so excited now. I don't have to do it again this year because I'm actually going to use some of the cloves from this garlic to plant for next year and then use the rest. But no more peeling those teeny tiny garlic cloves. I'm so excited, and it smells really nice and strong. So I saw another YouTube video where they actually did an experiment between planting their smallest garlic cloves and their largest garlic cloves and seeing what happened. Was there a difference in the plant that grew? I'll see if I can find that video and put a link to it down below, but I'm not sure I can find it again. Maybe you can just Google it. But what was interesting is when he got to the end of the experiment, it was a huge difference simply from growing larger cloves. And he used the same soil, the same garden space, they were right beside each other, and the difference was amazing. So I definitely want to pick out my largest cloves to save to plant next year to continue to have large garlic bulbs. But I'd say that experiment was a success. Now I want to see how my potatoes have done. The plants are dying back, and with all the rain, I don't want to leave them in there too long to get soggy, moldy. We have moles and voles down here too, so I'm hoping they haven't gotten in and done any damage. So I think if I pull them today, that will be for the best. So let's see if we have just as much luck with the potatoes. So here are my potatoes in my 8 fiber pots. Back here, the corn is behind them, but honestly, the weeds are just trying to take over. This time of year, it's a real battle. But the potatoes are in their fiber pots. Let's see how we did. say, not a great start. I mean, there are some nice potatoes, but only a couple of decent sized ones. So maybe they were missing the heat too. Let's see what the other pots bring. Actually, these potatoes are a little greener. There's a little bit of die off on that one. But you know what? I'm going to leave these a bit longer. Because while I'm happy with the potato harvest from the first 4, the potatoes aren't particularly large. So I think I'll give these a little more time until they die back a bit. I have to say though, I'm pleased with that. Those grew from 8 potatoes, about this size, left over from last year. So they were going bad, they had sprouted. So free potatoes basically, not the biggest harvest, but out of 8 potatoes, you know, to quadruple what you put in the ground. I didn't even actually water them, we've had so much rain. I basically left them in the pot, so it was pretty easy. I guess that's not bad. There's actually one more small thing I am going to harvest today, and that is here in front of me, some fresh lettuce. Now, those of you who've been following know that I got some free lettuce seeds with a seed order from Heritage Seed Company, and that's this one here. It's called Green Salad Bowl. I do love the shape of the leaves. Now, it is different from the Butter Crunch. You can see I'm letting these go to seed, collect seed from my Butter Crunch lettuce. But I do have some more Butter Crunch lettuce growing right in front there. It's still pretty small. It'll be a while, but in the meantime, we can have some green salad bowl lettuce with our supper. There, some fresh lettuce for supper. That looks so good. Harvest days are the best, aren't they? That's when all your hard work seems worthwhile and you get to eat fresh, healthy produce right out of the garden. We're going to have a good supper tonight. The garden is growing and changing every day now that we've warmed up a little bit. I'm going to do a garden tour shortly to see the changes from June to July. Most things are coming along great. They're behind, but they're growing well. And I'm looking forward to many more harvest days. Hope your garden's producing. Bye for now.